Instagram is not only been taking down images of women breastfeeding, of course, for a very, very long time, because somehow that's inflammatory / gives life. But now they're deleting posts that have to do with abortion rights and the abortion pill. Instagram has deleted some posts and limited at least 2 hashtags related to abortion services, according to some of the platform's users, and warnings that have been added to certain topics. The platform also briefly suspended and then reinstated an account belonging to an abortion services local platform. Unlike normal searches on Instagram, searches for, quote, abortion pills and mifepristone, a popular abortion pill, on Monday did not immediately yield results. On the hashtags for the same terms, a message was displayed that recent posts with the tags, quote, are hidden because some posts may not follow Instagram's community guidelines. What are those guidelines? You're not allowed to spread information about healthcare, about now that we have a Christian nationalist Supreme Court that's taken away our rights. We're not allowed to share that information. It's almost like big tech should be broken up and we shouldn't have censorship. And this is the actual censorship, not the stuff that the right wing or Candace Owens or other people who consistently get the #1 post on Facebook are talking about. So a little bit more on this, Dan, before I can get to you. The limitations placed on the hashtag means the most recent posts with the tags, which are usually found in a separate tab, aren't available for users to see. So for anyone searching for up-to-date information on the hashtag pages, that means they will have to scroll through older, more liked posts first, including anti-abortion posts. Tech News website Motherboard reported Monday that Facebook, another Meta-owned platform, is also restricting certain posts about abortion pills and resources. Abortion access platform Abortion Finder said its Instagram page was suspended Sunday morning. Fun, good time to do that. Tight. I want to say that this is not the first time, and I alluded to the breastfeeding censorship, but this is not the first time, and nor is Instagram or Meta, or Facebook, whatever it is now, Zuckerberg's thing. They're not the only ones that do this. Of course, YouTube, Google, what we're on right now. If you put abortion in that headline, your video will be demonetized. These are tech companies who at a time of need, they may be pledging to help their own employees get access to healthcare, but they are actually limiting the speech on spreading that information to people who might not have the luxury of working at one of their tech companies. Dan?
Yeah, so much there. So like just for those employees, by the way, because of the American healthcare system, that further ties those employees to working at those companies because, oh no, you lose your job, you lose your reproductive rights. That's just a wonderful secondary aspect here. But then you look at these companies and what policies they're putting in place. And it's so funny to note that all the Republicans who cry about big tech censorship and how the left is constantly censoring what they're allowed to say, while at the same time they are dominating their platforms and constantly 6 to 8 of the top 10 most shared things on Facebook on any given day. This is actual censorship of people's trying to communicate how they can protect their rights. I mean, I think trying to put myself in a business sense here, Meta is trying to shield itself from legal repercussions of potentially operating in states and having this stuff on their platforms. But this is why, to get nerdy for a moment, why Section 230 exists, why these social media platforms are not supposed to be legally responsible for what their users do. So they could just take a laissez-faire approach and say, oh no, we're just gonna let our users do what they want to as long as they're not, causing any harm or breaking any laws, so to speak. And I think you can get careful with what you do on a state by state basis. We know these social media platforms know how to do state targeting. So there's so much that these companies could be doing, but Meta especially is cowering to the right because they have such an influence in advertising and lobbying in Washington, D.C. that's their goal right now, is to get on good graces with people in Washington on the right and the left, but especially the business favored right. So when it comes time for people to even come near the idea of breaking up big tech monopolies, there are enough people on Facebook's side and they can't look at Meta and say that, oh, they're pro-abortion or anything like that. That's not an arrow they have in their quiver. It's strategic, but it comes at the cost of reproductive rights.
Yes. No, I think that's a really good point that they try, and I mean, again, you can't be neutral on a moving train. Corporations try to stay neutral, but we ultimately know, and this is what I'll push back on, that they're not, because we know they make bank on the right-wing rabbit hole algorithm. They make bank on conspiracy theories, and I can't help but think of that recent pandemic we're still living through, COVID-19. How long did it take for those posts about all the fallacies around COVID-19 not being real, around taking ivermectin, or yeah, you should drink bleach, or whatever it was? What did we talk about? Some kind of silver that I somehow learned yesterday that people were ingesting and died. Like, it took so long for companies like Meta, companies like Google to actually put up warnings, not just take down, but put up warnings about like correct vaccine information. And so I wonder why they can't also do that here. I do want to let's give Meta a chance, okay? So Andy Stone, who is the communications director, writes that content that attempts to buy, sell, trade, gift, request, or donate pharmaceuticals is not allowed. Content that discusses the affordability and accessibility of prescription medication is allowed. We've discovered some instances of incorrect enforcement and are correcting these. So admission that some of these groups that have been barred from posting, like a group actually based in Texas called Plan C, who's giving information about the Plan C pill, as well as some of the others we mentioned, that they're being, that's being rectified. But again, like this is, they're so quick to take this kind of information down, and yet everything else can stay up. And I just wanna button this up by saying, like, look, I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel at Franny Fio, follow me. But that's the woke thing to do right now. So I can't put abortion in the title without my YouTube video being demonetized, right? Or limited monetization. That means you can't run ads on that. Great. So I avoided that, right? So then I go to my video and I press play. What's the pre-roll ad I get? It is a dude well into his 30s going, so I'm an abortion survivor. And come to find out, they're running anti-choice ads on my video that I'm not allowed to say abortion on. So they're making money from anti-choice organizations while at the same time preventing information from being spread about actually what's going on with our rights. You can't make this stuff up.
Oh no, but they are constantly censoring conservatives. It's conservatives that are constantly in trouble on these platforms. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, no, the real victims, real victims.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.